Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to WGLNA Season 2 Qualifier Number 2 Grand Finals. Two teams have made it. Those two teams are Vorbild Line versus Pub Stars. Best of 5 to determine who will be joining us in league play. I'm Clutch, joined by Greetorp and Nagatron from Fulcrum Gaming. If you don't know who Fulcrum Gaming is, you have not been paying attention. FulcrumGaming.gg. Best team in North America, according to the Season 1 finals. They took home $50,000, and they'll be competing in season number 2 starting in October. We are in the tank picking phase right now. Prohorovka will be the first map. The first time we're going to see this map tonight. I'm excited to see what they're going to bring to the table here for battle number 1 on this map. Hopefully not a draw.
You want to mention though, still I'm not completely convinced with some of the lineup choices. The T-32s being chosen on Fruenberg, on Ensk, and on Himmelsdorf, and they're not getting into positions where they can utilize the T-32. I understand you might want to pick it for some interesting strategy that you might have, but the fact of the matter is they're not playing to these tanks' strengths, and when I see that, I see missed out potential. I see missed out or better tanks that could have been chosen for the roles that they've been doing, and that just screams to me a little bit of inexperience, or maybe they don't even have the tanks to be able to execute stuff like that.
It's possible they are using their own personal accounts in the league play. There are accounts provided for the players. Nagatron, in a couple series in Season 1 and even in the qualifiers for Season 2, we've seen some teams bring a 50-100 to this map. Your thoughts on bringing that tank on an open field where mobility is pretty key to victory?
I would say you have to go east with it. You can technically go west with it and find a place to hide it, but really the most safe place to use it is in the east, in that town. If you can mow down a lot of buildings and keep it tucked way back there, then you're only really limited by render range, which on this map is a big, big deal.
It is a big deal, and also hill play. We don't really see that often, pushing all the way to the east side, but could a 50-100 take that side?
Well, that actually is a terrible place to go on almost all situations. Unless the enemy team is going to the same area, unless they're going east, you won't have the render range. You can barely render past the tracks in that situation. And that, like I said, is one of the most frustrating parts about Prohorovka. When you get in those situations, you need to be able to shoot the target that your team is spotting. And if you can't render them, you can't really shoot them. There is a little trick you can do. If you have something like an IS-3 or something with a larger tracer that's easier to follow, you can see where it disappeared and click at that. But that's about as sweet as you can get if you can't see the tank.
Maybe occasionally we've seen a WZ-132 trying to go up that hill for any type of possible east side scouting, at least having the high ground in that scenario, but it's not often.
You can barely get shots out on your cap. That's
Yeah.
what we saw in those situations where they're defending cap from like a T1 pressure. Somehow or another, there's a WZ-132 on that hill, and they're able to get a shot there. But yeah, I haven't seen a lot of damage being done. And let's be honest, even if there are east side pushes, if you just protect yourself against the hill, it's very hard for you as the whatever tank up there to get consistent shots. And if you want to join the battle afterwards, that's a long, treacherous journey down.
It can be a long, treacherous journey, especially when multiple shots are heading your way. They can see you, and you can't see them. Now, even remembering 8.6 and the arty play that was available on this map, that has changed, and we see a lot of mobility towards the center. The hills and little valleys is going to be a lot of the peak points for a lot of these tanks as they try to scout each other, trying to get some shots off each other. Those 1390s and WZ-132s are going to be all over the place, so this is going to be a high-octane match, ladies and gentlemen, and it's time to start it out. Match, victory, point. We're going to find out who is going to be in the finals in battle number 1. On Prohorovka. We see the aggression of Pub Stars, and they're going to clean up Porco Man. The WZ-132 miss from Captain No Pants, tries to land another shot, another miss from the 1390, but Marsh 166 is able to clean up. Captain No Pants getting fired upon on 2 different sides. The 50-100 Sin 10 from far away is able to clean up the rest of him as the 69s in the middle of the map did get some good crossfire. A minute and 3 seconds left on the map here. And it's got some good firefights going, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, definitely so. It's so hard still to cross the tracks. How can you really cross them and say, yes, I will kill every single one of these tanks? At the same token, you could just hide a T1, still do that same thing, which what I said, and you can't kill all the tanks and then find that T1 on top of that. So we're 100% going to go into a draw. as passivity has ensued directly after that engagement. It was a nice little firework, but quite meaningless in the grand scheme of things.
Well, if there's any time to draw, it's usually the first battle, and that's because both the teams are filling each other out. They also get a sense of, are they going to type their aggression against us, or what type of aggression will they have against us, what type of tanks are they going to bring? Are they going to bring the standard 7x42 loadout? Are they going to bring something special that we've never seen before? No, pretty much standard for both these teams. I mean, even the 5100 might be a little bit of a surprise, but it's not something we haven't seen before. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a draw for battle number 1 between Vorbild Line and Pub Stars. Pohorovka is usually a map that we see a lot of action on, a lot of quick-paced fighting. Sometimes it takes a little while to activate, but as we saw, the division of East and West turned into a draw.
I think we see the most variance on this map of extremes, right? We either see a lot of action, as you said, and we're so used to, especially with the Ermagerd Kernavern, River of Blood out on the WGLNA circuit for the group stages. That's very, very common. But as it stands now, with the accuracy improvements as well, it makes it very difficult to actually go for those engagements because just those reticles, the smaller reticles, make a lot of difference as well. It just turns out to be very, very drawy as well.
Yep. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Then we're going to jump to Nagatron afterwards to see if any thoughts, if anything could have gone different in that map. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Battle number 2 of Vorbild Line versus Pub Stars continues after this. North side, red side, we have Pub Stars. South side, blue side, it is Vorbild Line. And what are we seeing for tanks, Great Tour?
It is a mirror matchup, sir. 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, and a 1390 for both sides. I was mistaken, I'm sorry. An L Tractor going to be taken up by Pub Stars.
And we're seeing one of those light tanks being spotted for the red team here, as I have to try to get over to is it Miserable or is it
Marsh.
Wick? It's Marsh 166 that is the one that is scouted, and he was doing the scouting for his team on that side, but not going for the Delta Village. And is the blue team going to be baited? Well, they are able to spot some of the heavy tanks over on the west side, and that is going to be an intriguing play here because we've seen some back and forth scenarios in the Delta Village, but not some straight on fights for that area.
Oh, shots fired. Nothing connects though. Independent. And who is that? Rella are going to back up there because they have to be so incredibly careful. I'm not sure who fired on the Vorbild line side, but if it's that 5100 playing by Sin 10, that's a big problem because obviously he has one less in his drum.
Yep, but Miserable in the T1 is rounding the corner here with Independent and Rella. Independent getting a little bit aggressive here. He does see Sugata. Will he go for the strike? He might try to reverse angle his tank here, backing up ever so slowly to see if he can land the shot, inching closer and closer. He does fire away, but it doesn't look like it hit anything.
Oh, I think it bounced off Sugata. And they're just going to back up over to the EF line. It looks like they're repositioning. Remember that 1390 is still traveling all the way over on the east, the Delta Village over there. So they are a -1 tank, even though they did see Marsh 166 over there. I'm pretty sure they're thinking, well, let's go ahead and group up and push as a single unit rather than going 4 against 4 on the west side.
There's that scout of that IS-3 and Independent leading the charge just around the corner. Shots fired. JD Bonjour, man, takes a hit. So does Sin 10 and Independent with that reverse angle, trying to get those first crucial shots right around the corner as Rella moves just past him to land another hit. JD Bonjo, man, is taking a lot of damage. Another shot fired, but it looks like it did not connect against Sugata. Sugata gets connected against Independent. Back and forth shots here as Rella takes a hit himself. But the HP victory is going to go to Pub Stars after that initial skirmish.
Banjo Man down to 507 health. I mean, that's not a good position to be in. 2 more shots from his opposing tanks can be a really big problem, but I like this counter cap pressure, and the IS-3s are going to swing around anticipating a defense. They need to be careful though because this is not a high health IS-3. Banjo Man can easily be picked off, and they're just waiting and waiting and waiting until there's a full commitment. IS-3s aren't the most nimble though. They can definitely can definitely lag behind, and it's a troublesome situation because Sin 10 and all the other tanks, the other 5100 and 1390, can be isolated very fast here.
The spread is good, though, from the red team. Is able to get some hits against Zizak and his 5100 on the sides. The 1390 takes out the other 1390. Porco Man. Porco Man is dead. Zevin gets the other kill against the other 5100, and now Pupstars is on the crushing march.
That's right. How many shots from those IS-3s went off? Banjo Man and Sugata, 0. Do you know why? Because they were driving. It's really unfortunate, but those are not tanks that can just get into position in the blink of an eye. 1390s can be doing that. IS-3s going to be a lot harder. You need to have a 100% for sure sight on your opponents to know exactly what's going on.
Now setting up the flank are one of the lights and heavies. Independent takes a hit, but it looks like it did a glancing blow. No damage really taken. Sugata and JD, Banjo Man hugging the side of this building, waiting for a commitment from either of these tanks and trying to stop them in their tracks. Captain No Pants, the 5100, hiding behind the building, waiting for one of those IS-3s to fire, and he can move out past Independent as Independent can move forward. Independent takes another hit. Captain No Pants going to have to make a decision. He's waiting, waiting, and there's the shots he needs. He's going to go around the corner and unload on these IS-3s. Independent needs to move further out, and he does, and there's the other ISC, Rella, as they're going to get the surround and the kills on the remaining blue heavy tanks. Nice move, nice patient play from Pupstars as they're going to clean up this map.
Yeah, just a clinic over here on how to position your tanks. Now the single T1 all the way over in A0 is going to be, it's going to be searched for, but also a cap is going to go off. This is going to be a win for Pupstars, and might I say, I almost feel like it's not just a win, it's a loss for their opponents. Now that might sound very obvious, but I felt like it was Vorbild Line's mistake, positional mistake, rather than Pupstars playing it absolutely perfectly. I feel like Pupstars is just capitalizing on these mistakes rather than trying to make stuff happen, and from that they're just able to take these wins with very fundamental, basic, and comprehensive play.
Well, was Zizak pulling away in the 5100 because he was watching the approach from the B line, not paying attention to the C line of that diagonal movement of that alley, where they just unloaded 2 easy shots into the side of his tank. And that spelled doom for that 5100 because that meant they could push in against them.
Even further back, capping with the 5100 and the 2 1390s. The 2 5100s and the 1 1390. That, to me, doesn't feel theoretically correct. The IS-3s cannot ever get into position where they're going to unload any sort of shells. Pupstars will take the win, but I have to refer to Nagatron about this last battle because there was a lot of chaos, a lot of stuff going around. What the heck happened?
I agree with your assessment, and I disagree all at the same time. I think both of these teams made good plays and big mistakes all at the same time. So here we've got us starting out positions. Basically, they're stacking all 4 of their heavies together in different lines, and their 1390s are going out and scouting the field. That's pretty standard. So then Vorbild goes straight up the 3 line, which in general is pretty much a bad idea. But after taking out the T1 right here, Pupstars takes their 2 IS-3s that way.
Yeah.
Now, when they see Vorbild en route in that position, they're moving their 5100s here for some reason. If they had kept them unspotted, I guarantee you Vorbild would have tried to jump on it. They would have come all the way in, committed on those IS-3s, and then hello, 2 5100s right behind you. And that is a terrible position to be in. So when they got spotted, Vorbild pulled back, came all the way back here, and they were kind of staggering their 2 IS-3s to make sure they were able to get away. They sent both of their 2 5100s along this way, and that is a very smart play. At that point, Pupstars had come over the top with their 5100s. They were fighting back and forth. As soon as they recognized that there was a threat to their cap, they came back this way, and that was where Vorbild got in trouble. Had they kept their IS-3s headed back down the F-road like they were going to, they would have had a sandwich position, but instead they quit that, and they joined up with everyone else, and that allowed Marsh in his 1390 to come all the way back around and seal that up.
Yeah. But so they're going to see that the defense from cap is coming. Is this a situation where Vorbild lines can actually react and then send their IS-3s around into the city? Or does it have to be like they have to anticipate the defense coming?
They have to anticipate it. They cannot react. By the time they react, it's too long of a distance to go. And it's kind of a trade situation. If Pubstars is busy dealing with the IS-3s, then there is likely either a mismatch or an equal fight going on in their own cap. Pubstars cap, that is. So equal fight, that's what you want. You just have to rely on your tanking ability. But maybe Vorbild is not too confident in being able to win an equal fight with Pubstars, which I wouldn't blame them. So they're trying to get an overwhelming fight, and in doing so, pretty much hand back the map. You only have one option, and that's to just either flank them or commit to an even fight, and they unfortunately chose poorly.
I want to jump to a replay real quick to show off the AMX 5100 in a skirmish with his fellow IS-3s and how to be a finisher, how to clean up what the IS-3s were trying to attack. They were able to keep these two tanks pinned against the wall, and they were waiting for them to fire, drawing that fire. Now, once they did, that 5100 is able to move across and unleash hell against these fellow IS-3s. Now, yes, they were already in a winning mode, and they were way ahead, but still, you want to practice those same fundamentals in any scenario to use your tanks to the best advantage you can as a team. And I thought that was very well played by Pubstars. We are going to take a quick break as we get battle number 3 prepared for you all. I believe it's going to be on Abby. So stay tuned. You're watching WGLNA Season 2, Qualifier 2 Finals. We go to the south side. The red team, Pubstars, is up 1-2-0. Vorbild line. The blue spawning from the north. And what do we have for tanks, Greet?
Let's take a look right now. 150-100, one T-32, two T-69s, and a 1390 on the side for Vorbild line. On the other side, we have an AMX 5100, two T-69s, and two 1390s on the side for Pubstars. So definitely a very interesting change up the T-32 instead of the extra 1390.
Intriguing indeed. That low tractor being played again by Wick. And we're seeing more of a middle ground play. Nagatron, your feelings on that?
It's really hard to say what Vorbild line is trying to do here. Pubstars' positions make sense. They're trying to take control of the Abbey, which will guarantee them a large portion of map control and especially control over both of those caps. So I like that a lot, and I really don't think Vorbild's going to be able to stop it from their current positions.
1390 has been spotted. Independent, the other 1390 will try to spot Zizak here.
Well, they're proxy spotting each other. They're right around the corner from each other. Marsh in that Marsh 166 in that 1390 is right next to Zizak. And I would say that Zizak is in kind of an open position. Of course, Marsh is too, but just based on Marsh's positioning, I think the entire Vorbild line team should know that the Abbey has been taken, because you can't take that position without taking the Abbey as well.
Yeah, no way, but Marsh 166 does get hit as he falls back away, and Zizak is going to be, oh my gosh,
getting good shots.
Terrible time for him to pull back there, 58 damage. And he does try to lead away here with another hit. Zizak does get lit up, 343. The T1 getting some shots against him. Miserable, that T1, wow, and 7 covers the retreat of Marsh 166. Wow.
Yeah, that was brilliantly done. Holy moly, Marsh almost dead, almost down and out of this battle. And they're able to turn around. A little bit greedy, a lot of bit greedy by Zizak.
We also need to point out that Sin 10, the 5100 for Vorbild line, took a ton of damage in that exchange. He's only at 50 hit points.
How did that happen?
He got fired on from the Abbey, no doubt about it.
Well, I guess you control the Abbey in this battle so far. You are going to come out on top, at least for the first 3 minutes. 7:21 on the map, or left on the map here, and homing is going to be lit up by Rella. Rella waiting for another shot. It does miss. However, Sugata and his T-69 hasn't taken any hits himself. This could be a very intriguing flank and pincer attack. Rella hiding behind the dead tank here that's part of the map piece. It's not a teammate or an opponent. Sin 10 and Miserable. Miserable goes down against Sin 10 in that 5100, but this could be a push that Independence wants to do. 1390 looking down at one of the T-69s.
Uh-oh.
Waiting
Rella
for a shot.
Round in the corner. They know where that 5100 is. Remember that. So they know it's an overmatch if they push into the Abbey. Rella getting a nice flank. Sugata and Heoming Hailming taking a lot of shots already, down to 543 hit points. 7 lining up the shots. Now Rella is there, taking the last and final blow. Sugata is left alone, isolated in the side, and I did see a reloading side from that 5100 too, from a while, well, about 20 seconds ago. So that means the 5100 won't be able to get into this fight.
Well, Independent and Zevin having a bit of a crash here, but Zevin moving in a fully armed drum in the T-69. Those 4 shots can do some serious damage as if he tries to chase down the T-32 along with Captain No Pants. Captain No Pants himself takes a hit in his 5100, but he wants that T-32 blood, and he's firing, unfortunately, into the hillside here, not connecting again to the T-32. T-32 lands another shot. Captain No Pants at a bad angle, but he's waiting for Rella to get the flank. Rella moving in from the other side of the house. And he is able to get it.
Ooh, shot in Captain No Pants. He's down to 162 health. Remember, that is a consistent fire tank. He doesn't have that burst to take him out right now. And 7 doing a great job at covering that angle that lets Porkemon get a shot on Captain No Pants. Porkemon just surrounded from 2 different sides. And it looks like, oh, bounce shot. That should have been the finishing blow by 7.
Unfortunately, he was able to take down Independent at 1390, but he barely had any HP to survive pretty much anything.
Yeah, and both of these T-69s are clipping. Is there a tank? Yes, there is. Captain No Pants taking the crushing blow. And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, because the T1 was taken out as well. Pubstars taking a 2-0 lead over here in the last and final match of this tournament.
Impressive play by them on using that flanking maneuver, and it was almost kind of a fool's luck of how he fell backwards, took a lot of hits from Sugata and the rest of the blue team, but Zevin was there for his friend as he fell back and landed some more fire against that 1390, getting that first kill and shutting down a bit of the aggression that was coming out from Vorbild line with any manpower, honestly. And too close for comfort, really. 48 hit points left on that 1390 as he backed away.
I'm not gonna, try to pretend that I know Abby nearly as well, because let's be honest, in the WGLNA Season 1, it was a lot of campiness. We weren't able to see a lot of these strategies. If anyone used it a lot, it was Cazadores, and they didn't do all too well in the overall series. So I want to ask, what was the plan for both these teams, Nagatron? You were saying that Vorbild line just didn't have a good plan going into it, but of course, Pubstars did. What happened?
Like you said, Vorbild line did not have a very solid plan going into it. Over here, you can see where they put all these tanks. Now, this 5100, all the way up top, is there to kind of fire down this line. And I guess this guy's there to spot it, and he comes in that way or something, but I'm not entirely sure what the ultimate point of that is. Meanwhile, in Pubstars, it makes a lot more sense to me. We've got contact on this line from this 1390, and as we saw, he ended up having to run, but survived barely, and the exchange heavily went in Pubstar's favor because they took the top of the Abbey, and to make sure they were able to do so, they had 2 69s with depression to own that line, and a 5100 that line. I'm pretty sure, I don't quite have a solid angle on seeing what Pubstars is doing, but that is a very strong way to take the Abbey. It is a little bit ignoring of this whole part of the map, but they used a T1 to kind of lock that down and make sure they weren't going to get shot from the side. And as long as they do it quick, that is exactly what they should be doing. Once they took control of that, they were able to quickly dust this guy, put him at 50 hit points, and then it was just simply wrapping around, pinchering the 32 and the 69s who had come down from their bluff, and that was just Pubstars all the way.
And again, we see Pubstars not necessarily executing the best offenses, but they're able to notice the weaknesses of their opponents and take advantage of that. And this is what we see time and time again. I haven't really seen Pubstars, do a move like we've seen Ermiger Carniverne and River of Blood do. They're playing comprehensive, though. They're noticing very quickly what the weaknesses are, and they're just capitalizing it every single time. And yes, there are some mistakes here and there, but when it comes down to it, they're playing a really, really good-looking game of World of Tanks.
And they brush off the mistakes very quickly. I want to actually take a quick look at this replay here of Marsh 166 falling away from the battle, if we can get that started. Now, here he is, as we were talking about, around this corner scouting, and this is where he's going to take off. But once he does, he gets hit, and he falls down and gets hit again.
Yeah, this is the mistake, right?
This is the mistake. But here's 7. Just around the corner of the T-69, even the T1 here is able to move in and try to get a couple shots in that 1390, and he's able to close the gap here as his buddy leaves the scene. That T1 keeping him distracted, and Zevin is able to close
So
that out.
incredibly good for the whole team to recognize what's happening and immediately, not counter, but assist their mates
Yep.
when they're low. This is the type of thing I'm talking about where they're able to react very well. But what I'm scared about is reacting. I like to, for teams to take the initiative. Of course, that's, I would say, caster bias maybe, because I
course.
like a lot of
We like action. Who doesn't?
But
taking that initiative is
don't
very
get me wrong,
important.
they're playing really, really well, but it's also very reactive so far. I feel like there hasn't been a team yet, though, to really push them to go for that aggression, to push them to take the initiative. They've just been capitalizing on weaker teams.
Well, they're one battle away to find out if they will have plenty of teams to push them in season play for season number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We come back. Battle number 4 for the grand finals of North side, red side, we have Pub Stars, and in the south side as the blue, it is Vorbild line down 0-2, 1 victory away for Pub Stars. Also, if it is a draw, it would be a technical victory for Pub Stars. Ladies and gentlemen, you've already placed your bets before the series began. I'm sure a lot of you are very excited to find out who will be joining us in league play. We are as well. And now one of the light tanks has been scouted across Tank Alley.
Porkomon is going to be scouted out here. Miserable goes down. TT. Looking at the lineups right now, 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, and a WZ-132. Normally we see a T-69 in place of that tank. On the other side, it's 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, and an extra IS-3. Now I say that because a lot of people, a lot of teams have given up on that T-69 in favor of other tank IS-3s, T-32s, AMX 5100s. But Soviet was just saying 2 matches ago, or a match ago, that the T-69 is still very, very strong as long as you just make the right shots.
Here's that courtyard play, 5100 and IS-3. Rella and Captain No Pants pushing across as Independent and Marsh 166 have taken a great spot at Tank Alley. And that means the blue team Vorbild line is going to have to be pushed over to the west. But Marsh 166 is committing down the line here, getting that 1T1. Will he be cut off, though? No, he won't, because that rubble from
nice
those
shot.
buildings will cut off. But yes, some nice shots against Rella. 1198 at 1500 for him.
Yep, that was Zizax in his AMX 5100. Now they're just pushing on up, rising. Hey, that's a WZ-132. Let's take advantage, guys. Rella coming in from behind. Banjo Man taking a big shot, 397.
And that is a huge lead for them. Independent trying to lock down anything he can coming across that corner as Marsh 66 leads the way still down that alley. He takes a big hit down the G line, but he's pushing closer and closer as Captain No Pants and Zevin move in for the flank in those 5100s. Still looking down those alleyways to make sure it's clear. Zevin is going to cross across the alleyway now and help Rella and Captain No Pants clean up the rest of the blue team if they're able to land those shots. Zevin now going to maybe position himself in front, yep, just past that rubble and push out against an IS-3. He will not have a shot, though. And Captain No Pants, along with Rella, are trading shots with Porco Man.
Yeah, Porco Man all the way on the outside, trying to get a good angle on these other tanks while the main engagement is happening. Sugata taking a big hit as well. And it's a little bit difficult, but Banjo Man is probably going to be a big priority over here as IS-3s are going to turn this bend. Big shot on Independent, but only down to 433. One more shot and down goes Banjo Man. It's going to come up from Independent pretty soon here, and a shot is going to clean him up.
And Rella is able to clean up Sugata along with Independent, taking down JD Banjoman. As you said, Greek Torp, and another 5100 was killed just before that. Red base is under attack, meaning that the rest of the heavy tanks from the red team will move to the northern section, while Paco Man, the WZ-132, trying to stop that push. 89 HP left on Captain No Pants at a 1400 as Rella is going to try to lead the charge. Captain No Pants is going to hesitate to cross that open alleyway, but a nice shot against Porco Man, trying to lead the charge again, but getting some excellent hits against Rella, slowing down the repercussion push of the red team of Pub Stars. And he is one hit away. Rella is able to clean up the WZ-132. Only one tank left alive, and that's Zizak. Pub Stars is one tank away from victory and joining us in group play starting in October and having a clear shot for the $100,000 prize pool. A chunk of that could be theirs.
I mean, they recognize their advantages. They execute based on them. They're a bunch of fantastic, fantastic tankers, and they know what they're doing. That's what this qualifiers really told to me. I really feel like Pubstars wasn't challenged this qualifier. Last one, they lost out to Cazadores in convincing fashion. I still felt like there was a couple of things that could have gone better for them, and I've said maybe they're not ready for the WGLNA, but man, oh man, have they shown a gigantic, gigantic discrimination in their team across every other team that signed up.
Well, Sin or Zizak could be on the run, but even if it does draw out, it will be a victory for Pubstars, and that's not going to be the case as 3 tanks are on the flag cap, and it's only a matter of time, ladies and gentlemen, until we have the victory official here. And I want to send a huge congratulations to all the teams that participated in Season 3, and we are just moments away now to declare Pubstars the victor for the Season 2 Qualifier 2 Grand Finals. 5 more seconds left on the clock. The rest of the
one
team
more shot
is
and
waiting.
won't get it.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Blue base has been captured. The red team does it. Pubstars will be joining us in group play beginning in October. Congratulations to them. Also, a huge thank you to Vorbild line and a consolation prize, really, of, hey, you made it really far. Best of luck in Season 3 qualifiers. Will be happening in a couple months. And I got to say, these qualifiers were better than Season 1. Even though Season 1 we started to see a lot of seeds being sown for a lot of the stories here, and the talent that we saw maybe was a little bit more one-sided, but there was more of that one-sided talent with these different teams.
Yeah, I thought the skill level in this qualifier was the best one that we've had here at the WGL. So it's a really, really cool honor to be casting them, to be witnessing them, and to see all these teams grow. Of course, a big shout out to everybody, as you said, that joined in. Whether you're a new team or you're an old team, it's valuable experience, and you guys are getting it, and you guys are putting in the time, the effort, and I really, really look forward to the future of WGL. But guys, we're going to cut to a short commercial break. Why? We're going to wrap things up with an interview with Pubstars. We're going to get them on the line, see their reaction, and just ask what was going on in their mind as they maybe saw that WZ-132.
That's right, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this. You have been watching WGLNA Season 2, Qualifier Number 2 Grand Finals. Stay tuned. Welcome back to WGLNA Season 2 Qualifier Number 2 Grand Finals, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. We now have our teams that'll be joining us. Cazadores from the Qualifier Number 1 that happened 2 weeks ago, and now Qualifier Number 2. We have Pubstars, and we're getting that interview set up here momentarily. But until then, we're going to throw it on over to David Williams, also known as Nagatron, for a breakdown of what happened in that battle. David?
It's exactly what we saw at a Pubstars so far, and I thought Vorbild line had a pretty good response to it, but that 132 came back and bit them, and really, that was the deciding factor in my opinion. Maybe a little bit of focus fire, but let's go to the drawing here. So, as we can see, initial positions, and then we got this 132 coming up here, clearing out a T1. As soon as that T1 spots him over there, Pubstars come down this line. They're spotted by a T1, but it becomes a nasty firefight as Vorbild line has a sweet set of shots over there, and they bring their 5100s underneath to right there, which is a very good move. You're going to be able to deny them as they try and come across the 5 line. But Pubstars had brought their 5100s there as well. Now here is where I really like what Vorbild line did the most. They actually pulled back from that position to here. And they had a lot of sweet shots on that, but they got a little bit fancy and started moving around a little bit too much from there, allowing Pubstars to come down that line and eventually outflank them. Pubstars using this line here, getting almost cut off there and there. And it was just trap after trap, and Pubstars were stepping into it, but a lack of focus fire and really a lack of alpha from that 132, even when he got to here, came back and made the deciding factor.
Do you think that WZ-132, if it was any other tank, they would have won that battle? Because to me, that WZ-132 was just getting shot after shot after shot and still putting out some pretty good damage. It's just maybe not enough. I'm going to look at the overall team score. and just take a look at how much damage. Oh my God.
That'd be very interesting, probably.
I don't think we should do this. 8 shots fired, 4 penetrated, for a total of 568 damage.
Wow.
And all those 4 that penetrated were in the end when they were driving through that courtyard and they
Yeah.
were picking them up. That's it. That's it. He was out of the fight almost the entire time because he can't jump into that fight.
Yeah.
He has no presence. They'll turn and then, oh, you're done. One volley. It's that simple.
Well,
Wow.
as we were talking about during the break too, is also that focus fire. And when it comes down to those type of engagements, if we took a freeze frame of what was happening at one moment in the game, the HP advantage was going to Vorbild line. They had enough shots on pub stars that they had more HP.
That's true.
But once
Even with the WZ-132.
even with the WZ-132. But once they started turning those corners, pub stars focused their fire. And once you focus your fire, like you learn playing any RPG game, you focus on one enemy, you kill him, he can't hurt your characters. In tanks, you kill a tank, that tank can't hurt your tanks. It's just simple math. And when you're able to focus that fire down, they start losing that damage advantage and that hit point advantage, and that became very crucial in that last battle. That's the cool head of pub stars. And yes, unfortunately, the WZ-132 was not the best.
Let's look at the
bet.
detail reports. Just I want to focus on the WZ-132 a little bit, and I know we're beating a dead horse a little bit right now, but the IS-3 hits received 6, so 6-5. Just think that IS-3 was strong enough to take 6 shots. The other IS-3 taking a total of 7 shots. Of course, we're talking about bounces. Even the 5100 taking only 1 shot. Of course, he was out of the battle for the whole time. But, well, not out of the battle, but out of a lot of vectors. Look at this WZ-132. It's dead. 3 shots, right? It only got hit 3 times, and it's dead. And also, I want to mention that 568, subtract 115 out of there, because that was a T1 that he killed in the beginning stages. So we're seeing even less damage being done onto tier 8 tanks. And then before there was also a shot at the very end, so we're really looking at 1 shot that WZ-132 was able to manage.
Well, in the end, what matters is they won, and I want to hear from the man himself. Miserable, you are on the line via Skype. How you doing?
How's it going?
It's going good, man. Speaking of Miserable, we got to get you a new camera. We'll talk to our folks over at Logitech to send you one over. But David Smith,
All right.
Pub Stars, you guys are now in the league play. Congratulations. How does it feel?
Feels good. I'm a professional esports athlete.
You are, and you're
Yeah.
eating professionally as well right after you
Yeah,
win. Is that
I'm
how you're
trying to get-
celebrating
I'm
tonight?
working on a sponsorship here.
Ah, I
Trying to
see. I see.
get healthy eating foods.
Well, tell me a little bit more about your guys' journey through the qualifiers as a team, and what are you going to do to prepare for season play?
Well, first of all, I got to give a big shout out to my my buddy from Cazadores for putting us in our place, because we came into the first qualifier with a 0 blinks given mentality, and that didn't work so well.
No, obviously it didn't work so well because, unfortunately, you guys weren't able to make it very far. But this is a different story now. And are you going to scrimmage at all with Cazadores? Do you plan to work at all with any of the teams that are in season play? Or are you guys going to pretty much hold your own and practice on your own terms?
I'd like to say, if Kufa wants to practice, I'm always down. We practiced a couple times. We practiced with Fulcrum, and we practiced with River of Blood coming into this second qualifier, and I feel like that gave us a much better leg up on the other teams in the qualifier. I think the only team that was probably more prepared than us was Refuse to Die. I think they practiced a lot, but I'm not really sure about that. They had some cool strats coming into tonight. I was watching them.
Yeah, they looked really good, but you guys did too. I was being a little bit critical, but at the end I kind of backtracked a little bit because I was saying, you know, it's almost like the teams over here in this qualifier weren't able to test you, whether or not we could see your actual skill. You were just playing a very comprehensive style, punishing your opponents for every little mistake that you were able to see. Did you have that same feeling, like you didn't need to bring on the initiative because you were just outclassing a lot of these teams?
Trust me, we wanted to YOLO every single game. And by that I mean just derp out there like we did in the first game against Cazadores. But we learned that, you know, there has to be a certain degree of strategy. You can't just base it completely on personal skill, which would be nice. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, the first qualifier was a major eye opener, and we came into this second one a lot more prepared. Do I think we've been tested? Definitely in the brawling category. We haven't had a lot of prolonged, meta change, like one team shifts here, one team shifts there type battles, but I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of that in the league. All the teams that we played against in the past have been getting better and better, and it's not going to be a walkover, that's for sure.
Well, we look forward to your performance in the Season 2 League play beginning in October. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans, Miserable, and everyone that's going to be supporting Pubstars?
Sure. What's up?
Not much. What's up with you? Because now I'm.
Are
a
you
fan
my
of
fan,
Pubstars.
Great Torp?
Yeah, he's a fan.
I'm a fan.
You need to send him a
All
hat.
right, I
He always
like it.
loves
I
his
love
team to
hats.
send him
All
a
right,
hat.
we'll try to impress you in this league coming up, guys.
Yeah.
I'll just-
Try to make like a wristband so I don't have to wear this Fulcrum one always.
Oh, man.
No promises on
Cold-blooded.
that front.
Yeah.
You got
All
to
right,
go to
Miserable,
Rella for
thank-
the arts.
Thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck again. We're going to be sending you this Logitech C920 webcam so we can see your face when you get rid of that one that you
Yeah,
have
and we
now.
won't back out this time, so you'll actually be giving me the webcam this
Yeah,
time.
yeah, you have to still stay in the league.
Because
but,
our team kind of got gutted. We got only 3 original pub stars. What can I say?
Yeah,
we're
'cause-
back and we're ready to rock.
How
Right
are
on.
how are you supposed to get Lay's as a sponsor if we can't even see the Lay's logo that well?
I don't know. You can kind of see it.
Step by step,
Look
my
it
friend.
up, Lays. I'm in the business. Ready to rock professional esports.
All right, David, we're glad that you and your team can be a part of it, and best of luck in Season 2. Thanks for joining
All
us.
right.
And again, congratulations. We'll see you later.
Thanks.
All
Man,
right.
yet again, great personalities out of these teams.
GG! The Logitech camera wanted a GG out of that, man.
It's going to be great
Yeah.
to have Pup Stars over here, and Miserable, such a treat to be with us. I just felt like his energy level is just something that we haven't seen in a very long time in the esports scene, so it's going to be great to have him.
What better way to celebrate than when a soda and a bag of chips
Exactly,
after you,
man.
after you left qualifiers. Congratulations again, Pub Stars. You'll be joining us. And I'm going to go around the room here before we do our final sign-off. David Williams, Nagatron, it's a pleasure to have you in Soviet this weekend. What would you like to say, final words, for the match and for the whole qualifiers and also for Season 2? What would you like to say to your fans as you guys gear up to defend your title?
Well, before the fans, I'd like to say great games by everybody in the qualifiers. Thank you for having us. It's been a lot of fun. I'm sure Soviet would agree. And really looking forward to testing our mettle against some of these new and improved teams that have a little bit more experience in it. And to our fans, thank you as always for supporting us. We'll be streaming. We're hoping to put on a little bit of a show here in the league, so stay tuned.
It's going to be sad to see Negatron go, as the average IQ of World of Tanks will dramatically drop as soon as that happens.
Oh, we still got Junior.
As I said, dramatically drop
Okay.
as they leave. But it's always great for you guys to be here, and we learn a ton. I mean, they came here, him, Mac G, and Fej. All 3 of them came over here in the beginning stages when we first started the WGL. We learned a lot from them there. Now we get to just pick their brains even more, and it's so great, especially with the recent changes with 8.8 coming out. Even 8.6, there was dramatic meta shifts from that with the accuracy. Just things are changing. Everything's in flux, and it's always great to have such intelligent people around.
The journey is only beginning now. Season 2 out of many seasons for WGLNA. And make sure to catch us online at WGLNA.com for more information, including the announcement of Season 2 starting Thursday, October 3rd. Also, make sure to follow us at WGLNA on Twitter and Facebook.com/WGLNA. You can follow him on Twitter at Greetorp. He is at Nagatron HQ. Soviet is at Mr. Soviet 13T. There he is, right behind
He's
us.
coming.
You can follow that guy. And you can follow me at Clutch08. Huge thank you to Fulcrum Gaming for joining us this week to bring you guys the qualifiers. Want to say a huge thank you also to our sponsors. Azo Monitors, now available on Amazon.com. Alienware, Logitech, especially for their awesome webcams, and Kingston HyperX. Thank you so much for watching. Good night and good game. We will see you in Season 2 League Play October 3rd.
Bye, guys.